game of the DCI was that they wanted the judges out of their chambers. They plant the money. They plant the money into the chambers, the judges. Then after that, do a search and get that money. If the state agencies can go to that level, how safe is the ordinary citizen on the streets of Nairobi or in the villages in Nyamira? That is the fundamental question. And that's what Mr. Cliff is saying. Really, we have now an office of the DCI that has run without due regard to the rule of law, without regard to the constitutional safeguards, without regard to the fundamental human rights of a judge. So we are demanding serious explanation from the DCI what has happened. Remember, the judges cannot go on strike. If it was that they were allowed to go on strike, they could, but they cannot go on strike. The only way to bring this out is to go to court, raise those issues and the evidence why they acted the way they acted. Two, the question that a search was being conducted in the chambers of the judges without the judges having their lawyers. Was there a risk of their life? Definitely. The judges were arrested, taken to police station without their lawyers present. Was there a serious risk to their life and other aspects? Yes. If now we have allowed that the DCI will walk to courts and arrest judges from courts, what was difficult to summon the judges to appear before the DCI? So that is the position we hope once we get the orders or once we get directions from the court, we shall give the position later. Shadrach will conclude what has happened last.
No, really, after my seniors have spoken at length, I believe mine will be just to recap what has been said. But the essence of what we have brought before court is to put to play the principle that a judge's chamber or a magistrate chamber is a holy place. So we do not expect, at the very least, that a police officer can intrude that holy place without even a court order or a warrant to that effect. So in the fullness of time, we are hoping that the court will pronounce itself and safeguard this independence of the judiciary that has nowadays become something that the executive and people who are not of goodwill are playing about. Thank you.
You must go through the Judicial Service Commission, you must then inform their bosses, and then you must start that process to prevent and to safeguard the dignity of that office. So what does the DCI do? Wakes up one morning, decides to come to the judges' chambers and arrest them. First of all, what have they not done? They have not informed them who the accusers are, who the complainants are, which case are we talking about, what amount of money are we talking about, who demanded for money, who brought the money, who was given the money. These are issues that should have been put at the forefront. These are not there. So the question is, this was malice. If it was malice, what is the intention? Now, if you are going to come to a judge and arrest him from his chambers, are we safe? Are the judges safe? If the judges are not safe, is anybody else safe? The search has been done in that office, and therefore what happens in that particular moment, the fundamental rights of these judges, they are covered by them as well, must then be activated. At this particular moment, they were not activated. Why? They were denied advocates. They wanted that the search to be conducted in an unfair and open manner, yet people are being told to stay out. The judges had been lured into a trap. The trap did not work. So then the question is, how long is this going to go on? I can see that the DCI is trying to say that there was no arrest. But what is arrest? The moment you go to the chambers of a judge and get him out of that place, you do a search, and then take him to your station without him accepting or without his own volition, then that is an arrest. The moment he is with you and you ask him to write a statement and then you release him, what are you releasing him from? From an arrest. Therefore, the question is, who are the accusers? Did the judges face the accusers? The accusers were not present. There is no statement. There is no complaint. There is no OB. If you want to go and arrest a judge because you are saying that he is corrupt, then these are the things that you put into play. You must then have your recordings, you must have all those money treated and everything. This money that was being talked about, was it treated? Has anybody seen it? This is a serious game. This is a dangerous game. And when we are saying this, we know that nobody is safe. Something must be done. People must face the process. Heads must roll. I don't know whose head will roll first, but heads at the DCI must roll.
To find
Microphone.
an unprecedented act by the DCI happened where two of our clients who are members of the Kenya Judges and Magistrates Association were arrested. Justice Cherule and Justice Chitembwe, on the pretext that there was money of corruption money that was stacked inside of the chambers, the offices of the judges. What really transpired is that Justice Cherule was in his chambers, Justice Chitembwe was in his chambers. When strangers walked in, he wanted to request Justice Cherule to move out of his chambers for the purpose of going out for lunch. Justice Cherule did not move out of his chambers. He suspected that there must be a foul play that is being played. Later, after those people left, shortly, a gang of CID officers stormed in his office, in his chambers, and they identified themselves. He wanted to do a search. He allowed them to do a search. He did a search. They did a search. They never found any money in his body, neither in his office. They did an inventory, and the inventory, we have circulated it, and the police have confirmed they did a parasite and never recovered anything. Still going further, the police decided to arrest the two judges, regardless that there was no money at all that was recovered from the chambers of the two judges. They were arrested, they were taken to the DCI headquarters. The lawyers who you see here tried to access their clients at the DCI headquarters. The DCI headquarters offices were barricaded. The media, thank you very much for coming very fast. After the media came, we were allowed in to talk to our clients. Our clients, the two judges, had recorded statements to the effect of what transpired on that day, and we demanded from the DCI the basis of why they have arrested the two judges. Two, whether they had a warrant to search the offices of and the chambers of the judicial officers. After the lawyers here insisted, the DCI decided that now this matter is becoming a serious national discussion. They were released without a bond. Normally, when you are released by the police, Cliff will deal with that, you are released with a police bond to come to record a further statement or be arraigned in court. Our clients were released with that. Out of that, Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association instructed us to move to court. We have filed petition number 288 of 2021, challenging the decision of the DCI to arrest. That file has been allocated to Justice Murima. We are waiting for the directions on what the judge will give. The basis of our filing the petition is one, in the decided case of Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, Mwilu, the judges were very categorical that when an issue arises touching on judges of the High Court or judges of any superior court, that matter should first be dealt with the JSC before the police decide to arrest. But still, the judges were arrested. This is not the first arrest by the DCI of judicial officers. Justice Ole Kantai was arrested on flimsy grounds, taken to the DCI. To date, he has never been charged. The actions of the DCI was aimed, one, to embarrass the judges, to humiliate the judges. Remember, Justice Mchelule was the judge and a commissioner of the JSC, and since the Chief Justice Maraga took position as the CJ, the state has always believed that Chief Justice Mchelule is the reason as to why Justice Maraga became the CJ. Two, Justice Mchelule has not been appointed to go to the Supreme Court. One, Justice Odunga was not promoted. Justice Professor Ngugi was not promoted. Now this is the third attack on the 6 remaining members that were not appointed. So the state, having sworn to revisit on the judiciary, this to us and to the members who have instructed us is an attack on the independence of the judiciary, is an affront on the rule of law, is a total derogation of the constitutional and international conventions on the safeguards of the independence of the judiciary. That is the reason as to why we have gone to court, and we are seeking that the court stops any further action. The DPP himself, in his official Twitter, has said he was not involved. The office of the DPP was not involved. So the question that comes into our mind is, where does the DCI get these powers of arresting without consulting other agencies? We know very well that there are still 3 more remaining judges that have not been attacked: Justice Makori, Evans, and the others. So what is likely to happen with the remaining judges? Are we likely to see all of them being arrested? Is this an affront to intimidate the judiciary so that they can play ball and pass the BBI? So very many fundamental questions are coming to play as to why the DCI, the criminal arm, is being used to deal with issues of the independence of the judiciary. We put notice to the office of the DCI that this is not what it was anticipated in creation of the office of the DCI. What the independence of the judiciary that we have always fought for, what Wanjiku fought for, the independence of the judiciary, is under serious attack. Are judges going to decide their cases based on what the state wants, or are judges going to pass their judgments based on the evidence and facts that are there? Why could the judges be arrested? And there was no evidence. There was no evidence. The money that was alleged to have been there, the judges have not been furnished with who is the complainant, which case that was supposed to have the money being transacted. The 5 million that is alleged to have been given, who received the money and where is that money? So it is a serious question that we have raised, and we hope that the Constitutional Court will agree with us and make clear orders that the 2 judges should not be arrested and should not be charged for flimsy, trumped up charges that do not hold any water. So that's the position my senior Mr. Cliff will add on top on the angle that we've taken.
Let us start by saying that the moment you want to arrest a judge, the moment you want to take those